Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trenton's Tech. This is day 7 of the road to Vision Pro. So today we're going to do two things at once. We're going to talk about some Vision Pro news, and we're going to talk about the developments on the road to the Vision Pro. Let me come out and say right now, if you are not subscribed to the channel, you want to see more coverage on the Vision Pro and see actually, somebody actually buy it, use it, stay with it, and all that stuff, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I know some people are like, yo, add value and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, sometimes you just need to say it ahead of time. So, like I said, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Jumping into it, took a day off, literally for New Year's. So, happy New Year's, everybody. As far as the developments, as far as the donations and how everything else has been going, we did get 2 more super thanks. So for those of you who did do the super thanks in the comment section, I did reach out to you guys and said thank you. So definitely thank you guys for that. It's a little hard to try and go through and like pull those things back up. So I need YouTube to kind of fix that to where you can really see them as they happen. But the other thing I noticed is that sometimes it takes about 48 to 72 hours for it to process and show up. So yeah, moving right along anyway. But as far as everything else goes, I really haven't sold anything else. Pretty much on the point of taking my Z Fold 5 and putting it on Swappa and selling that. And pretty much if I get a decent amount for that, that kind of really leapfrogs me a little bit forward. Right now, we're looking at about $1,200 of fundraising. Like I said, $500 from me, $700 from you guys in the community and everybody else that's been contributing. So that is dope. Totally appreciative for that and whatnot. So that's the update on that part. So let's go ahead and jump into the Vision Pro news and discussion and stuff like that. So one of the things that's been going around is the fact that this month is supposed to be Apple's like 40th anniversary with the Mac. So there's some speculation that the Vision Pro could be dropped on that day that's supposed to be the 40th day. I'm not exactly sure which day it's supposed to be, but that's like the rumor that's kind of going around. I don't know if Apple would do it, but I mean, if things line up, if all the shipments come through, if all the employees are all trained up and everything, then that could be a thing. I haven't heard any news about anything being pre-recorded as far as an event, whether it's going to be something that's just announced on the web, how that's all going to essentially come about. And that is more so kind of interesting because normally what happens is as we go through all these leaks, as we go through all these rumors, you hear Ming Chi Ko, you hear Mac rumors, you hear 9 to 5 Mac, you hear all this stuff going on online. Usually at some point you start to hear something about, hey, maybe about a month in advance, hey, Apple just finished up recording their event. So usually if there's going to be an event, let's say, like they did with the Halloween themed stuff around like the MacBooks and stuff that we had in October, usually you kind of hear about it ahead of time or you start getting rumors kind of flowing through. There really are not any rumors floating around towards any sort of the event. The only thing that we keep hearing about is that the units are shipping. So apparently they must be leaving from somewhere overseas to start to come here in the U.S. They will be housed here in the U.S. Apple stores will begin to stock them up. And the other thing that we're hearing is that basically the people who are training at Apple should have already left, went to the Apple campus, wherever they're going to train, and then they're supposed to at some point come back and start teaching the store employees about the process and I'm assuming how to sell it, fitting it, trying it on, and this, that, or whatever. And then somewhere between the last week of January and the first week of February is when we're supposedly is supposed to launch. Now, the other thing that's pretty interesting about it is as far as launching, we don't have a definition of launch of what that means. Does it mean launch as in it will be in store for customers to pick up, or launch means, hey, you're able to purchase it? So that's a very, very skewed definition because I'm more so worried about when you're going to be able to purchase this thing versus the actual launch. Because like I said before, as we are doing the fundraising and I kind of started this, just about a week ago, my hope was that they pushed it back to at least the first week of February so I could all, make this work out and, time everything right and be good or whatnot. But if they do end up doing it, let's say a week in advance, ahead of February, that would be interesting. Now, the other thing interesting is that February does land in the middle of a week. So it's not like February is going to start on Sunday and that's going to be the start of the month. I think February 1st is probably on a Wednesday or a Thursday, one of those two. So it could be the last week in January, but it could be within those last 3 days, or it could be, the first week of February, which is still within that same week. So that's kind of interesting how that's going to balance out. Also, looking down in the chat, we got Viper, aka the Man About Tech. He just got streaming. He is also doing a fundraiser on his stream. He is also working towards getting the Vision Pro. So everybody thank Viper for joining us along the ride to trying to get the Vision Pro. So I know he said before, he was like, yo, I'm not doing it. We finally got him to come to the dark side. So yeah, check out his channel. He's got videos and stuff going on there. He's doing the coverage on Apple products. So I'm more so going to be covering pretty much all Vision Pro. Like I'm not really going back into like the phones or some other stuff. It's pretty much going to be just all Vision Pro or maybe like another Mac or something, but it's all going to tie into the Vision Pro. On his channel, he's covering everything Apple. So, phones, he'll probably do some tablets, some other stuff. That dude has like all of the Apple stuff. So check him out. Also, we got Genosis coming through. We got Snowman Can. Good evening, sir. Good evening to you as well. So, yeah, we're just streaming and, this is just going to go up as a regular video once we're done streaming. We got Spiked Jade Dragon. Hey, good to see you here in the chat. Definitely saw you in the comment section before, so good to see you here live. Sebastian Brock says, when the Vision Pro comes out, will you buy it and stream it here? That is completely up to you guys. Honestly, I've kind of gone back and forth about whether I should do an upload or do a stream, but honestly, I'll probably do a stream because you guys are helping me out. You know, the people who have been doing the super thanks, the people who have been donating via Cash App, hell, you guys watching the video, subscribing to the channel, like everybody's been contributing, and I've had some pretty good support behind this. So yeah, why not unbox it live? You know, because I think that would be kind of a cool thing. I would really want to know what the process would be though, because so here's the interesting thing. The unboxing might be a little bit ruined because part of the process that Apple wants to do is, now this is rumors, this is what's been reported. What's being rumored is that for those people who purchase a Vision Pro, and it's only going to be available in the US, they want the people who are purchasing it to go to an Apple store to get fitted for an Apple Vision Pro. Now, I don't know if that process means you purchase it, you go to the Apple store, you get fitted, and if you get fitted, you walk home with your Vision Pro that same day, or if you get fitted and you get the right measurement or the right size Vision Pro sent in, and then you have to come back in and pick one up. One of the things I've been doing as far as like looking at the research and, you know, the leaks and stuff that's coming out is that you actually do have different size bands, like headbands and tweaks and adjustments that can be made. So apparently there's like 4, and I was reading this off on a stream the other day. There's 4 sizes. I don't necessarily understand the sizes, but there's supposed to be N, which is one size, W, which is another size, N plus, which is another size, and W plus, which is another size. So that must be going around the different, you know, head shapes of human beings and fittings and all that stuff. So that would be the interesting part. And that's why I'm saying it might get ruined because, you know, like if you're going in to get fitted, I would assume that they would have a device there, or what Apple could do is they could have a mock-up device, something that doesn't turn on or is a dummy unit essentially, and it's just used for fitting purposes only. So that could also be a thing. Let's see here. Spike J Dragon says, good question. Do BOF, stream it, and then prepare a video after, maybe voiceover some of the unboxing, and then do a first impressions video. Yeah, so just to let you guys know, because I put this out on Twitter, thanks to Chat GPT and a little imagination of my own, I've got 100 video ideas for the Vision Pro, and all of them are feasible. So I will basically just be uploading all about the Vision Pro. I'll totally miss everything about Samsung and the S24 and the rest of the phones that are coming out in the spring. Might even miss out on the coverage about the iPad because honestly, I have an M1 iPad. I don't need another iPad, and I'm kind of looking at like Vision Pro. Yeah, that's really gonna take a lot out of me as far as putting stuff together. But it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy it. So yeah, definitely got the ideas and everything going. But hey, thank you for that suggestion. Genosa says, what about people order it but don't have an Apple store in their city? Thought. So that other part, at least the way I understood it from everything that I read and looked up, Apple wants people to go to the store if it's possible. So I don't believe that they're going to force you to go to the store, but they would recommend that you would go to the store and get fitted and all that stuff, because I think the last thing that you would want is for you to spend that money, get the product, and it doesn't fit, or something has to be adjusted or this, that, or whatever, and then people get frustrated and then they want to return it and stuff like that. Like, I'm pretty sure in this product category, Apple wants to kind of nail it. So it seems to be optional. And then if there's not a store nearby, you can elect to receive it. So I'm assuming that with the Vision Pro, there's probably going to be just a standard band, like a standard setup. And then based off of everything else, you're going to need, extra, information, measurements and all that stuff. There's also the thing about, and I don't know how well this is going to go or how that's going to go, but there's going to be the thing for people who are going to have glasses, and they're going to need the prescription lenses, and they're going to need those special inserts that Apple is going to have to put inside of that Vision Pro. And, I don't think it's going to be something that, comes inside the box. It's something that you're going to have to order separately. So maybe it's one of those things that ahead of time you put your prescription in, you pay your money. Apple already has most of the prescription lenses pre-made, so they can be sent out along with the device. And then maybe you pick it up in store, give you a tutorial. There's a lot of what ifs in this scenario, but just like I said, off of what I read and using like some logical reasoning, I think, that is how it would go. I don't think it gets too much more complicated, but just by having people come in, one, you erase a lot of confusion. People can learn on the fly and not just be lost. Personally, I have an Apple store that is right up the street from me. I actually have about 3 Apple stores within the area that I live in, all within about 30 minutes of each other. So I could technically go to any one of those 3. So I will definitely be going. And if Apple lets me, and this is usually based upon the store, if they let me, I'll have somebody come with me and hold the phone and just record me, like me trying it on and doing this and doing that. That way, at least there's some, some sort of documentation out on there if all the other, larger creators don't beat me to it. But that's what I kind of, plan on doing. Let's see. Sebastian Brock says, please do both. I live in Germany and Vision Pro will not be available here. Oh, well, yeah, I can definitely do both. We can do a stream where, everybody comes in and we all chill and have a good time and, just unbox this thing together and just geek out and just be, hyped for it. So, yeah, I will definitely do both. It'll definitely be a live stream. It won't be a premiere. It will be a live stream, and we will all hang out and just enjoy this thing. Let's see. Trenton's Vision Pro channel. LOL, honestly, it's the most interesting tech so far. It is. And to a certain degree, like I said, I still like phones, but not enough to talk about them on a regular basis. And to be honest, the Vision Pro was something that really captured my attention. Now, we do have a Meta Quest that my son uses, and that's like the Meta Quest 2. And he's been using that. He's been loving it or whatnot. And I think I used it once or twice, and I'm like, all right, this is kind of cool. But then Apple came out with this crazy thing, and I'm just like, I got to get it. I have to do it. I volunteer as tribute, right, to hop on that. So Spike Dragon is coming through with the super sticker for $20. Thank you for that donation, Spike Dragon. That is dope. Like I be sitting here trying to contain myself and not like lose my mind, but it's been awesome to see that, like I said, the support coming through and everybody's just like, yo, we're here with you. We're riding on the train too. And I'm like, yeah, let's all get there together. And that was the other thing that I wanted to bring up in this video as part of the update and everything that's going on is like, I really, really want to dig into this thing. And I'll be honest, I've never had the Apple Arcade subscription before, but I'm willing to sign up for whatever subscription that's supposed to go with the Vision Pro. I'll grab it just so I can test out everything because I want to see what it's like to actually play an Apple Arcade game with the Vision Pro. Now, I know it's not a gaming headset. I know that's not what it's meant directly for, but I just don't want this to be one of those, hey, take it out the box. It looks cool. I put it on for 2 seconds and then somebody returns it to the store or they never talk about it again. Like, I really want to dive deep into it. And I want to be a resource for other people because I know that this is something that I'm in a privileged position to have. The first part is, one, I live in the US. So the fact that it's coming here first, and there's other countries where people want this thing and it's not going to be available. So I already have that privilege going. The other part is I have the privilege of paying the advertised price because I know in other countries, when they start importing these things, you guys get hit with some super Apple tax. And I already know, like, there's just going to be a lot of first impressions, 28 hours later, 2 weeks later, and then people are just going to take it and sit it on the shelf. Like, I want to go through the whole thing. I want to go through the setup process. I want to go through, how do you reset it if you need to reset it? Like, I want to cover every single base that I can with this thing and just really be behind it. So that is pretty much the goal. That's where I'm going with it. Yo, Technically T, what's going on? Yo. J Dragon says arcade on Vision Pro would actually be amazing. I hope Apple does this. Yeah, so it was in one of their promotional materials that if you were to go back and watch the original Vision Pro event, as you're going through and watching everything, as they bring up the part about being able to connect to a controller and you see the guy sitting in the seat and he has the, I believe the PlayStation 5 controller, you see like a picture of NBA 2K being played. That's available, I believe, in the App Store. And then you have other games that tie in with Apple Arcade. And since the Vision Pro is supposed to run iOS and iPad apps, natively, so they should all be supported, all of those same games that you have on iOS and iPadOS should work just the same on the Vision Pro. It's going to be interesting to see how that does work because I know some games that are iOS are primarily, you use them by putting the inputs in on the screen. So you move your finger around on the screen and that's how you move stuff around. And you don't necessarily need a controller because your finger is the controller. So I'm wondering how that's going to work with the headset. Are all the cameras going to detect your hand movements? Are you going to have like a square that you're supposed to point your hand towards and move and do this and do that? Or are they just going to fully panorama immerse you inside of the game? So once again, more questions, but the fact that you can connect a PlayStation 5 controller or an Xbox controller to it and sync it up, Bluetooth and everything, that'll probably help out a lot of people too. I might just use a controller over just using like the whole hand gestures, but we'll see how that rolls too. Let's see. That maybe that's why they're trying to push Apple gaming so hard. Yeah, I mean, look, originally when Apple Arcade first came out, to me, it kind of just seemed like, all right, it's just another subscription. Am I really going to be messing around with most of those games? And for the most part, not really, because I just don't play a lot of games on my phone. And it's not because I don't like games. Like I have like a whole, Xbox One upstairs and a big old 65-inch TV. But that's my thing. Like I like playing games on like larger screens. Like I like playing games on a big 55, 65-inch TV, playing Red Dead Redemption or Ace Combat or Fortnite or anything like that. The last thing that I want to do is to try and play one of those games on a 6.7, 6.8 inch screen. Like that's not really for me. Even with my Z Fold 5, even when I open it up and I've tried playing Fortnite on it, my eyes just don't like playing games like that on that format. It would have to be something like Asphalt 9 or something that's just very passive, like not very engaging to play on that screen. But if I can put on the Vision Pro and I can throw up a big, equivalent to 55, 65, 75 inch screen and play these games, then I'm totally down for it. And the gaming aspect is it's like the icing on the cake, or it's like a plus to the Vision Pro, because the Vision Pro, like I said, it's not directly meant at gaming, but it's just like, hey, you can game while you're also doing this, or you can do this while also doing that. So that's really the main thing. The main thing I'm interested in is how the productivity is going to work as far as, like all the windows and everything. We saw a couple of previews about it being, like a Safari window would be in front of you, to the sides, above, and down below. So you have that. The other thing that I'm really, really curious about is, I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to sound kind of cheesy, but I am really, really interested in watching a movie with the Vision Pro, because I want to see what it's like to have that fully immersive content and, have like my AirPods or the spatial audio or wherever they got going on and be fully immersed into a movie, because it's been a minute since I've been into a movie theater. And if I can get that experience of immersion like that you would in a movie theater, if I can get that at home, I'm all for it. I tell you right now, I would pull up, I kid you not, I don't know if Hulu's going to be on there or whatever, but I would pull up so much anime and watch that in the biggest movie screen possible. I would rewatch so much stuff and just be loving the fact that I could do that. And the best part about that, with it being with the Vision Pro, is that it's something that you can just pick up and take with you. I can't take my 65-inch TV with me everywhere. I can't take, all of my stuff with me. It's all of this stuff is inside of the headset. And if people got to look at me and say, "Hey, you look dumb," okay, fine. That is the price I'm willing to pay. I am willing to look stupid to enjoy this content as it's advertised, because like I said, we still have to get there and experience it. But if it's as good as people have said it was, if they're saying like this technology is the best technology that they've seen compared to other stuff that's out there, I'm totally for it. Absolutely do not care. People can make fun of me. People can make memes. Hell, I make memes, right? Don't care. As long as I'm enjoying it, as long as it's worth the experience, I'm totally for it. I already know that it's a first generation product. I already know that it's an expensive price. However, this is not something that is for everybody. This is something for the people who are just like, you know what? I'm here for the experience. I'm here to be a part of the trial run. I'm here to help, develop this thing however I can develop it along the way and hopefully make things better. Holy crap. That was a whole like positive rant, right? T, I think I already said what's up to you, but thanks for coming through. Let's see. Kaloa says, I got Avatar 2 and everything elsewhere all at once on standby until I get the Vision Pro. Hey, man. That's the other thing is I probably need to do this. I probably either need to make a Discord or like start creating a community around the Vision Pro, because there's other people out there. And honestly, I think that we are all underrating the size of 500,000, because one of the things that people have been talking about, and they're saying, oh, well, the Vision Pro, it might sell 1 million units. That's kind of low for Apple. And then it came out that that number is somewhere now between 400,000 to 500,000. So a lot of people are looking at it as a failure. A lot of people are looking at it like, well, that's a small number. Okay. If you take 500,000, right? 500,000, that's 500,000 potential users. That's not a small number. And these things, I honestly believe that they are going to sell out because you have enough people who want to be first, and you have enough of an audience that is willing to try it, that has some disposable income. So it's not really the smallest number. But that 500,000 is also what is supposed to be produced, I believe, this year. And I don't think all 500,000 is going to come out right away. So you're going to start to see these communities start to come up. You're going to start to see users of the Vision Pro, and they're all going to start interconnecting with each other. You're going to, like I said, you're going to see these Reddit posts. You're going to see these Discords. You're going to see these groups come together. And you know what? I want to hang out with the people that enjoy this thing, okay? I don't want to hang out with anybody that's going to give me a hard time about this and deal with a bunch of trolls. No, I want to hang out with the people that like the product, that want to use the product, and, come together as a group. So, yeah, that was the other part that I really wanted to look at. I'm like, yes, let's do that thing. And I know it's not for everybody. Sebastian says, I hope there will be some kind of adapter where you can connect a gaming PC, for example. I don't think there will be an adapter because for the most part, this is what I've seen. The only connection that is to the Vision Pro is either probably via Bluetooth or whatever that Apple word is for connecting everything, continuity or something like that. So it's definitely going to be one of those, hey, it's probably going to need an Apple product, and you're probably going to need something that has an M1 or M2 chip in it. I don't think, because that's the other concern is, well, if you get the Vision Pro, would you be able to connect the Vision Pro to, let's say, a i9 MacBook Pro, i7 MacBook Pro, or would you need an M1 series to fully support everything? If I'm looking at Apple and I'm looking at the price and I'm looking at the motivation, it's probably going to lean towards you're going to need to have an M series, an Apple M series powered machine to connect your device. So we're talking about probably M series iPad, M series, M series MacBook Pro, M series Studio. Once again, we got to wait for all the details to come out, but I could see them doing that. However, if you could, use Bluetooth and connect it to your PC in somewhat of a pass-through mode, that'd be kind of dope too. But then you'd have a whole bunch of people complaining about how the Vision Pro doesn't play well with PC, or there's not a lot of support and this, that, or whatever. So Apple may just kind of keep that in-house just to kind of like keep things a little bit tidy, but that would be interesting. Genosis says 500K new data collection. Hey, look, you got to get the data from somewhere. And I mean, when you go back in time, if you look at Apple's track history, they did the same thing with the first iPhone users, whoever was first. And the thing about the iPhone moment that kind of gets glossed over is that when the iPhone, when it first came out, it was expensive. A lot of people were downplaying it. A lot of people were like, no, I'm not doing this, doing that. But it took those people to make those first steps into that product, because ultimately, if nobody buys the product ultimately fails. So at some point, as much as we all downplay and say we'll never do this or do that, there is always a customer out there to start it off. just to go back in time, like we were talking about the iPhone, somebody had to start it off with that. Somebody had to start off with the iPad. Somebody had to start off, with all of these other different things. If you go into Samsung, I remember 5 years ago where we all sat there and we watched that presentation where they came out on stage and they said Samsung Galaxy Fold $1,980 on stage. And everybody just laughed. Everybody was like, no, this makes no sense. Who would buy this? Yada, 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 whatever. Some people bought it. Not a lot of people, but enough people bought it for that thing to live on and have a second version. And that second version got bought and lived on to the third version, to the fourth. And now we're on the fifth generation of a phone that started at $1,980, went next year and increased. This is even after all the screens were tearing off and, people were breaking their phones or whatever, still went up in price to $1,199. People still bought it. People still supported it. And then later on, it got a little bit cheaper. But, I mean, going from $2,000 down to $1,800 isn't that much of a difference. But you kind of see where I'm going with this explanation and how things kind of turn out. Let's see. I think Bluetooth is too slow and finicky. I think it would only be connectable to an Apple M series devices, like you said. Yeah, but that's one thing I would have to look up. I have to look up what would be the transfer technology that we use, because I want to say we're on Bluetooth either 5.3 or 5.4, and I know as we go up in the versions of Bluetooth, the bandwidth and the connection gets a little bit better and a little bit stronger. I also think that Vision Pro, for it to connect to your computer, because a lot of the scenes that we have seen with a computer involved, people are usually at the desk in front of the computer, or if they do step away, it's for a short period of time. But the other thing that we have to remember is that the Vision Pro itself is also a self-contained unit. So it's a self-contained Mac. So you don't need to have a MacBook Pro for it to run. Like, I think what a lot of people are thinking is that this is just going to be a $3,500 pass-through device, but it can be a standalone device. Like, you can use it with your MacBook or your Mac Studio, or you could use it alone. So that is the interesting part. And I know like the R1 chip and the M2 chip are supposed to be working together with the processing and all that stuff. I don't think there's any fans in it, so it's supposed to be passively cooled. So one thing that would be really interesting to test out is what would be the performance / thermal limit, because when you're looking at the M2, you're kind of looking at, like, let's say you're looking at like a MacBook Air, which is passively cooled. It doesn't have any fans in it or whatever. It just dissipates heat over time. So I wonder what editing in Final Cut or doing any sort of other tasks with those glasses looks like. The other thing that was interesting was you did see images and videos of where you have the Vision Pro and you have somebody using it, and they also have a mouse and keyboard attached. So obviously those are Bluetooth, but can I just take a mouse and keyboard and navigate around, Vision Pro, where I have my hands down here and I'm just looking around, going through the thing here, having my 3 screens or whatnot, and working with that? Because I could do that. Like for me, I can actually have my fingers on the keyboard and type and use the mouse and still be able to look up and look around at the screen. So that would be kind of helpful too. Let's see, the first iPhones were $600 with a contract, and that was unheard of at the time. LOL, I remember that. Yeah. I remember if you had an iPhone, you were a special type of rich person back then. Sebastian Brock says, but there could be a third-party box where you can plug in HDMI in this box, and then it acts as if it were a Mac or iPad. Oh, yeah. So that's one thing about this, is that The third party market for the Vision Pro is going to be an interesting one, because one of the things I've also done, because you could kind of see how things are coming in the past, I've been trying to go on Amazon and AliExpress and looking around in different places to see which companies are making accessories for the Vision Pro, because I have to believe that there are some coming. And usually anytime that Apple drops a product, the accessory market for that product skyrockets, or it just comes out of nowhere with accessories for that particular product. I mean, we got accessories for AirPods. And even though I don't necessarily believe in those accessories, the proof is there in the sales, and all the people have bought cases and accessories and all this different stuff just for AirPods. So you can only imagine what the accessory market's going to be for the Vision Pro and any other future Vision Pro products. Like I said, my main concern was just the only input that I've seen is the proprietary connector that goes from the left side of the headset down to the battery pack. Now, I don't believe it has the capability to transmit any data, but if it has something like, let's say, smart pins or whatever, and you connected stuff that way. But then again, I think the smart pins is only for power. So I'm not entirely sure. I don't pretend to know every single thing about it, but that's the only physical connection that's been shown, unless there's magically a USB-C port hidden somewhere. Ted says you can do all the productivity save gaming stuff now with devices that cost no more than $500. They just don't do VR. Oh yeah, so yeah, you can go out, and because I would be disingenuous to say that it's all Vision Pro. No, you can go out and you can go get a Meta Quest 3 for $500, and most of what you're going to find in the Vision Pro is actually in the Meta Quest. So if you're looking at it from the standpoint of, I want these features, or I want this cost or this, that, or whatever, then absolutely go get a Meta Quest. I think the Meta Quest Pro was discontinued, but the Meta Quest 3 is out there. That's like $500. The Meta Quest Pro was like $1,000. However, different products, different strokes for different folks. Like I said, if you only want to spend $500, go get a Meta Quest. If you only want to spend $800 to $1,000, go get a Meta Quest Pro off of like eBay, Amazon, refurbished, whatever. But Apple is saying, hey, we are charging this much. We are putting this much technology into this VR headset. The thing that they're presenting is that this is supposed to be the high-end device. So I'm pretty sure if you do a one-to-one comparison, there's going to be a lot of stuff that the Vision Pro beats the Meta Quest at, just because Apple's literally focused on just throwing everything in the kitchen sink. Whereas Mark Zuckerberg has said with the Meta Quest that he wants it to be a device that everybody can have access to or they can afford. Where Apple is literally looking down the barrel and they're like, we don't care. You either show up with the price or you wait until we make something cheaper. And that's ultimately like how it goes sometimes. Ted says, speaking about connectors, where are the rest of the Apple accessories getting USB-C? I have no idea. And honestly, that's been a little bit annoying because I've wanted to get a Apple wireless keyboard and an Apple trackpad, but they're still in Lightning. And I'm at the point where I'm just going to wait it out. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, here's $200 for a keyboard, or, oh, hey, here's $140 for a trackpad, and it still has Lightning in it. Like, nah, I'll go get a Logitech keyboard at that point or a different manufacturer. But yeah, it's been past time for them to move on past Lightning. It's also been past time for them to move on past that Magic Mouse 2 with the Lightning connector still built in. I don't care what you guys got to do. If you got to take the USB-C connector and put it on the side of the mouse, do that. But yeah, no, I'm moving on past Lightning. So there's no telling, because the other thing that they have that still has Lightning on it is the AirPods Max. And yeah, no, not grabbing an AirPods Max that still has a Lightning port on there. Even though I really wasn't looking at getting the AirPods Max in the first place, just no, I'm not doing any more Lightning accessories. USB-C is here. I will wait for it. And that's basically the mission that we're going to roll out with that. Let's see. Probably a spring event or something. Yeah, like the sad part is here's the thing. Sometimes I wish Apple would just go ahead and pull products at least like a month or two in advance, so nobody walks in and buys the Lightning version of it just for the new version to come out right outside of the return period. Like that's just silly. But yeah, 100% USB-C, all the things. The Apple AirPods Max being Lightning is still crazy. It is. The fact that they're still doing, I mean, for that, like I said, when you've already come out with the USB-C iPhone, that pretty much, like, you know, you bent the knee to the EU and you said, all right, EU, we're gonna play ball with you, but we really still have Lightning keyboard and mouse. That's beyond me, and it doesn't make sense, especially when you have these MacBook Pros and these Mac Studios, and the only cable that you have to charge those things is a Lightning cable, and you have people now with iPhone 15s, 15 Maxes, 15 Pros, 15 Pro Max. That does not make sense. I don't know if that was a supply chain thing or somebody literally dropped the ball at Apple, but it can't be that hard to put a USB-C port on those accessories. But I mean, that's really about it for the most part. I'm not going to sit here and like drag this stream out. I think I got out a pretty good amount of information, how I felt about stuff and where we're at. The last part that I will go ahead and wrap up with and talk about is one of the rumors is that the launch date is supposed to be, this is the flimsiest rumor that I've seen. The launch date, quote unquote, is supposed to be on January 27th. I want you guys to go ahead and look into your calendars and see when January 27th is on. And I will ask you guys a question because I don't know this myself, but I have a very good amount of doubt in this. When was the last time Apple launched a product on a weekend? Because I believe the 27th is on a Saturday. And to me, I don't think there's like going to be an event or, I don't think they're going to do like, hey, the product's available now on Saturday. If anything, you could say, hey, maybe the 26th, which is a Friday, like, hey, it comes out then. You announce it a week before, or, usually when they drop stuff or announce stuff, it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. I've almost never seen anything on Thursday. Friday is usually like buy pickup day or whatever, if it is a thing. Never seen anything on Saturday. Never seen anything on Sunday. So that leads me to believe that whoever is like floating that out there is just floating it out there. Let's see. Apple releasing on a Saturday. That's crazy. Yeah, like nobody's doing that on a Saturday. Like nobody. No. Maybe if we still had malls everywhere, like on every single corner you had stuff in the mall, maybe, but nah. Like I said, it would probably be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday announcement, Friday, because Friday is payday. You know, that's when they'd be like, all right, you can pick it up in store and all this, yada, yada, whatever. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Going to go ahead and wrap it up here. And once again, shameless plug. If you guys want to see more content like this and Vision Pro stuff, subscribe to the channel. And I just say that because I looked at my analytics and we had a lot of new people come through and just watch. And we had like a handful of people subscribe. So, yeah, definitely trying to, build this thing out and roll it out. For those of you who have contributed, once again, thank you. For those of you guys who stuck around to the stream and ask questions, that's dope too. You guys can also put comments down below when you guys, see the replay. For those of you guys who missed the stream, that's dope. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you once again. My kid's running around in circles. So, all right, y'all. I will see y'all in the next video, possibly tomorrow or maybe Thursday. So, all right, y'all. Take it easy. Peace. And we are out.